What's up, YouTube? I'm going to attempt to do a video on my my Hprc case. This is how I store my knives. This thing is huge, so it's hard to get it all into frame. I'll try to go over it for the best as I can. I'll put some links in the description to more detailed specs and things like that. But in general, the internal measurements for this case are 21 by 18 by 10. So it's a very big case. If you're going to use it to store knives, I suggest getting a smaller one, because once you do get this all filled up, it can be very heavy. And this is not even filled to the max, but it's kind of heavy. But whatever, we'll get right into it here. Prop it up. You can see there's an area to put your name and address, your info, in case you're traveling with this. You also have an area to put locks on it. Here, there, and there. There's two. Not metal reinforced, but someone would have to break it to get into it. You got your nice durable handle here, rubberized grip. You got your air pressure valve there, similar to the Pelican cases. Make sure it's nice and airtight. You can see the pin going through that hinge there. Very durable. There's a two-stage clamp on this case. How the Pelican ones work, I think they're also two-stage, but it's like one motion down and then like a double clicking thing. This one kind of hooks onto the top here and then just go ahead and clamps down. There's 4 clamps, 1 on each side and 2 on the front. Kind of have these nice grooves for a nice little design aspect to it. I don't have a Pelican case to compare this to, but from what I've read and reviews that I've watched, Pelican cases tend to be more high quality. Things like you can see these little gaps here due to the nature of the design and where the clamps are. Yeah, little gaps here and here. For the most part, Pelican cases are going to be straight through. That's another little thing, but for the price that I got this for, I think it was $110 or so. This was years ago. For the equivalent Pelican case, it would be like at least $40 to $50, up to $100 more. Again, it's all a preference thing, really. This stores my knives just fine. I have no problem with it. Yeah, so again, this is an Hprc case. High performance resin cases is what it stands for. They're made out of a mixture of high performance resin, so they're shock proof, they're kind of scratch proof, waterproof due to the O-rings inside, which I'll show you in a minute. We'll just jump right into it here. Take off all of these clamps. Before I do that, there's another grab handle on the back here. Not as heavy duty as the front one, but I have carried the case with this one and it works just fine. Got your nice durable hinges here. Get a closer look at that. Sorry for the sloppiness of this video. I couldn't get it all in one frame, so it's gonna be all over the place, kind of. All right, so you open it up here. See stuff flying everywhere. All right, so you can see this is where I store my knives. I just have some fixed blades just resting here. Let's take those out. All right, the lid is actually, there's kind of like a, once it gets to like this point right here, you're gonna feel like some resistance. But once you do and you overcome that, it'll stay in the open position, kind of tilted back. You can see there's an eggshell foam on the lid there with your O-ring. Nice thick rubber O-ring around there. Alright, so you can see it has, you see the grid when I wipe my fingers across it. They call this their cubed foam, whereas Pelican case calls it their pick and pluck. Very similar. I have a piece here somewhere, right here. I think how another way that they differ is that Hprc cases, the cubes I think are bigger than in Pelican cases. So that would make the pick and pluck in the Pelican cases more versatile, because you can make it fit your gear better because the cubes are smaller. But for example, like I'm just gonna use the fold-down knives as an example here. Not an overly thick knife. I just have two pieces cut out here, and you can see it kind of moves around a little, like it's not a very tight fit. If that's something that bothers you, then I would go with the Pelican case. For me, I just use this for storage, so it's no big deal. You know, once the lid closes, these aren't going anywhere. I mean, they're knives, it's foam, you know, they're gonna be okay. But again, that's just a matter of personal preference. So you can see it's very, I just have a bunch of different things in here. Here's a multi-tool, fits in there no problem. Here's a friction folder. Have some tools here, some Swiss Army knives. Those are all just 1 cube cutouts, not the tools one, but they're there. This is an open L down there. These are a bunch of pens, tools. But yeah, for most knives, it's gonna fit just fine. Something wide like an ADV Butcher. You can see I probably have to put more foam down there for it to rest on, but yeah, for the most part, something big like the Boker Monero, it's gonna need to go down 2 layers. Oh, that's another thing I guess I'll just get into. You can see how thick the layers of foam are. I'm gonna try to give you a better idea of that here. There's 2 layers of this cubed foam. You can see all them sticking on the bottom there. I'm gonna lose my friction foam really. There's 2 layers of that foam, and then a layer of just standard foam on the bottom, or a thin one. So if you were making a cutout here, let's see, I'll try to make a cutout here, just so I can demonstrate how it works. Basically, you see your grid there. You can kind of go and pick at it and break those perforations on each side with your thumb. What's cool is Hprc actually includes this kind of little tool here. It's kind of like a little chisel or wedge. So you can go down there and stick it down the rest of the way, and it'll break those perforations for you, or perforations, and then just go and push it down and pull it out. That's basically all there is to it. So that's what 2 cubes look like. You can split these apart kind of easily. There you go. That's all there is to it, guys. So that's how you can make another slot for your new knife or what have you. I do have to reorganize this because a lot of these are in the wrong places or what have you. But just for an example here, well-known knife is Sage 1. I just cut. That's just 1 layer of foam there. So if you were to put it in there, that's how much it would stick out. Which is pretty good actually, that's fine by me. But if you have a bigger knife, let's say a Paramilitary 2, you can see it in comparison to 1 layer of the foam. That's going to stick out way too much, so you would have to go into the 2nd layer. To do that, you would actually have to remove all your knives and then to remove the 2nd layer. But for really small knives, for example, like your like Fellholter Fricky Folder here, this thing's tiny, so you want it, you can see how deep that thing goes in there. And I actually have a little bit of foam put in there. So what you end up doing is you would cut a piece of this foam here, and you would actually stick it in there. Sorry, guys. Stick it in there so your knife rides a little higher. And there you go. Guess I'll go ahead and do that to my Michael Morris there too. And there you go. A lot of times, because I don't feel like, if I get a bigger knife and I don't feel like removing all my knives just to get to the 2nd layer, I'll end up like pushing down purposely just to break those perforations. But, to each his own, right? You can see my collection there. Yeah, pretty good case overall. I mean, it does the job. It stores my knives. I'm not gonna use it to travel or anything. So it just stays in my room, and I go ahead and pick a blade for the day every day. But if you're gonna be traveling with it, they do offer wheeled versions or things like that. Again, I'll leave links in the description for everything. But yeah, pretty good case. If I was gonna travel, like, and I only wanted to take a couple knives with me, obviously I'm not gonna take the case. I'll take a smaller case. I'm looking into buying a smaller, maybe Pelican case, or I do have those like 12 kind of padded fold over Maxpedition style cases. If I take, like, I think it holds 12 knives, which is pretty good. But yeah, guys, that's about the gist of it. Pretty good quality Hprc cases. There's a few differences between them and the Pelican cases. Now these days, you can get, actually, there's more custom fit cases. I think I forget the name of it, but they're all over Instagram. They're designed specifically for knives. They're the foam inserts for your Pelican cases. Very cool. These days there's so many different manufacturers producing these awesome things for your gear. I'll leave links to that as well. But there you go, guys. That's pretty much the gist of how this thing works. So as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one.